the year 331 BCE, a pivotal showdown would unfold on the dusty plains of Gaugamela, a defining moment in history where two of the ancient world's most formidable powers came face to face. On one side stood the young and brilliant Macedonian king, Alexander the Great, leading an army forged through years of rigorous campaigns and legendary victories. Opposite him was Darius III, the Persian king, commanding a vast empire's force whose dominion stretched from the banks of the Nile to the Indus River. This confrontation, known as the Battle of Gaugamela, was set to alter the landscape of power and prestige in the ancient world. From the outset, Alexander demonstrated strategic genius and an innate understanding of warfare's intricate dance. He had selected the terrain of Gaugamela deliberately, a flat expanse which initially seemed to favor the larger Persian forces. Alexander's choice, however, was a tactical maneuver aimed to nullify the numerical advantage that Darius's army possessed. Arrayed against him was perhaps the most extensive fighting force ever assembled to that point, with Persian records boasting an army size that dwarfed the Macedonian troops. But Alexander was unfazed. He was not a stranger to facing insurmountable odds. His tactics had routed formidable opponents before. As dawn broke on the day of the battle, the mood was tense, the stakes clear. Alexander, with his fabled cavalry at his side, deployed his forces with a deft touch, arranging his men in a manner that allowed flexibility and fluidity of movement. His strategy was simple yet audacious: to punch a hole through the Persian lines by attacking where they least expected. In contrast, Darius assembled his forces traditionally, with a reliance on sheer numbers, and his formidable war elephants meant to instill fear and break the Greek lines. At the appointed signal, Alexander's forces charged. Led from the front, he guided his men with exceptional courage and decisive action, aiming to unhinge the Persian center. The Macedonian phalanx, renowned for its discipline and resilience, advanced as one, a formidable wall of men that had mastered the craft of war. Yet, Alexander's real intention lay in exploiting the flanks. Using precision and speed, his cavalry circled, probing for weaknesses and stretching the Persian line thin. Darius, upon realizing the threat to his flanks, attempted to adjust and buffer against the encroaching enemy. The chaos of battle, however, made these maneuvers perilous. Alexander's execution was flawless. With a masterstroke, he struck at the heart of the Persian position. Darius, sensing the tide turning against him, made a fateful decision. In a desperate bid to avoid capture or death, he fled from the battlefield, leaving his army in disarray. Without their leader, Persian forces faltered, their will to fight evaporating like morning mist under the rising sun. Alexander's troops seized upon this confusion, driving forward with renewed vigor. What followed was not merely a victory, but a sweeping annihilation that would send ripples throughout the known world. The mighty Persian Empire, once thought invincible, began its rapid decline. As news of the triumph spread, Alexander's name reverberated across continents, earning him a legacy that would herald him centuries onward as great. His mastery at Gaugamela was more than just a battlefield success. It represented the zenith of classical warfare, a study in tactical brilliance that continues to be examined by military strategists to this day. The Battle of Gaugamela was not just a fight for territory. It was a clash of ideals, a turning point where empire met empire, and one emerged ascendant above all others. In the aftermath, Alexander continued his advance into the heart of the Persian Empire, capturing city after city. Greeted often not as a conqueror, but as a liberator. Institutions and cultures blended, giving rise to a new era of Hellenistic influence, where Greek ideas and Persian opulence coexisted and enriched each other. In conclusion, the Battle of Gaugamela is remembered not only for its decisive victory, but for its transformational impact on the world stage. Alexander's strategic acumen and the bold maneuvers displayed on that October day in 331 BCE carved a narrative that reached beyond conquest. It forged a connected world, setting the cultural and political foundation for the centuries that followed. And thus, the plains of Gaugamela became more than a battlefield. They became the canvas upon which history was indelibly painted by the arrows and the incredible will of Alexander the Great.